Hello and welcome back. In this lesson, IAM Lesson 3, we are going to focus on IAM users and policies, specifically on how to create, use, and manage IAM users, and also understanding IAM policies and how they apply to users. So to get started, we'll do a quick recap from a previous lesson, which was what is IAM, where we talked about exactly what IAM is and the common use of IAM, which is to manage users, groups, IAM policies, and roles. Here, we're specifically going to concentrate on users and IAM policies and how they work together. So let's look at this as a scenario. We have our AWS account, we have IAM, and out here we have an S3 bucket. For now, all you need to know about S3 Bucket is that S3 is a storage service provided by AWS, and that is currently a service that our Project Omega development team is going to have to access. However, if we take a look at our account and its current standing, we don't have Matt as a user. So here, if I click under users, the only user we have is Tom. This was the user that I created for myself in the last video. But now we have to create a user for Matt so that he can log in and start to use AWS. So to do that, we need to create a new user, and we'll create one for Matt. And for the purposes of these videos, I'm going to uncheck generate access key for each user because this really goes beyond the scope of this particular course and is somewhat more of an advanced feature, which has to do with accessing AWS resources from the command line interface, which we are not going to cover in this course. So I'll click create. We now have our user Matt. Great. So now we have our user Matt in IAM. So we are now mimicking what is over here in our Project Omega infrastructure. Now, let's say that Matt wants to access an S3 bucket. Currently, if Matt logged in and tried to do that, he would not be able to access S3 because he is currently blocked. He has no permissions assigned to him that grant him access to the S3 service. So what do we need to do to fix that? Well, if we assign a S3 full access policy to Matt, then he will have full access to S3. So let's walk through the process of doing that. To assign a policy to a specific user, we can click on the user's name, click on the Permissions tab, and click Attach Policy. We then want to search for the policy that we're looking for. In this case, we can type in S3, and we can find here Amazon S3 Full Access. We'll click on that, attach the policy, and now Matt has the policy attached to him, and if he were to log in, he could access S3 and use that as a service. Now, let's create the accounts for Kunal and Donna and round out the user accounts for our Project Omega development team. So again, back to users, create new users. We'll create Kunal and we'll create Donna. Now, the problem is that if they right now were to try to access S3, they would be blocked because they don't have the S3 full access policy attached to them. They will not be able to access S3, whereas right now, Matt can access S3. So to fix that, we can simply go into each one of their respective user accounts and attach the S3 policy. And there we go. So now this is a reflection of our account in that we have Kunal, Matt, and Donna, each with the AIM S3 full access policy attached. And if any one of them were to log in and use their AWS account, they would be able to access and use S3 as a service. So that is a quick overview of how users and policies work together in order to access AWS services and resources. And with that, we will conclude this lesson. Thank you for watching. You may now move on.